Have you ever wondered why you can never get consistency in the way that you feel waking up every morning? Some days you wake up and you feel great. Some days you wake up and you feel grumpy. Some days you feel motivated. Some days you feel groggy, but you can never get that consistency. Can you imagine how much better your life would be if you could wake up feeling great every single day? Now, there are 1,000 different ways that you can improve your sleep, but in this video, I'm going to share 4 of the most important things that you can do. And if you can get these 4 things right, I promise that the quality of your life is going to improve dramatically. So tip number 1, about 3 years ago, I was in a phase of my life when I was meditating every single day, twice a day, and I'd gotten my anxiety levels down to about 0. And an interesting side effect that I learned from this period was that I was sleeping really well. Every single night I would get in bed and I would fall asleep basically straight away. And what I learned from that was really important was that the amount of anxiety that you feel in your day-to-day life and the amount of anxiety you feel when you go into bed every night is going to have a huge impact on your ability to fall asleep quickly and have good quality sleep at night. And so the first tip that I'm going to give is to get your anxiety levels down as much as possible, especially right before you go to bed. And there are 2 things that you can do that in my experience have had a huge impact in how quickly I'm able to fall asleep. And the first thing, it's very easy, very simple, is to spend maybe 5 to 10 minutes before you get into bed just to journal out what you're thinking. And the benefit of this is that it's going to take all of the thoughts that are running through your mind and it's going to release them out into paper or out into your phone. And when you do this, it means that when you get into bed, you're not going to be ruminating and running through thoughts as much as you normally would. Because running through thoughts in your mind as you're lying in bed is going to keep you awake and keep you anxious and keep your mind active. So you want to empty out all that stuff before you get into bed. Just write it down, take 5 minutes, and I guarantee it's going to really relax you and empty and calm your mind. And the second tip is after you do this, just lie down in bed on your back and listen to a 5 to 10 minute guided meditation. And I found that every single time that I do this, that my body just calms down and it's so easy for me to fall asleep after this. So journaling and meditating right before bed, just winding down, is going to make it so much easier for you to fall asleep once you get into bed. Tip number 2, and this is the most important tip. If you take any tip from this whole video, take this one. So about mid last year, I decided that I was going to change my sleep schedule. I was working a 9 to 5 and I decided that I wanted to wake up about 1 hour earlier so I could do some work in the morning before I left to do my job. And I thought there would be no problem with this. I would just shift my sleep time 1 hour earlier. I would go to sleep 1 hour earlier and wake up 1 hour earlier. And I would still be getting the same amount of sleep and everything would be fine. Well, what I found was, even though I was sleeping 1 hour earlier and waking up 1 hour earlier, whenever I woke up, I was so grumpy. Everything was just frustrating me. People were annoying me, and my temper and my patience was so short. And I realized it was because of my sleep. It was because what was happening is that I was interrupting my sleep cycle. You see, my body had been used to waking up at a particular time. And although I had gone to bed earlier and gone to sleep earlier, my sleep cycle did not adjust to 1 hour earlier wake up time. And this is how our body works. You can't just sleep 1 hour earlier or 1 hour later and expect yourself to get the same quality of sleep by adjusting your wake up time. See, the most important thing when it comes to good quality sleep is consistency. It's going to sleep at the same time and waking up at the same time every single day. You can't change it up and sleep 1 hour earlier and wake up 1 hour earlier and expect to have the same quality of sleep. Your sleep works in cycles and it expects to wake up at a certain time. And it takes a long time for your body to adjust to a new sleeping schedule. So if you interrupt that sleep cycle and wake up before it ends, that's going to make you feel really grumpy in the morning. So what does that mean? It means you must optimize for consistency. You must try to sleep at the same time every day and wake up at the same time every day. Tip number 3. If you can think about the way that our ancestors lived, how would they have slept? Well, when the sun went down, everything would get dark and everything would get cooler. And that signaled to their bodies that it was time to sleep. The environment that they had around them got darker and it got cooler. And this is exactly the kind of environment that we want to imitate in our lives when we're sleeping indoors. We want to sleep in a place that is as dark as possible and is as cool as possible. We all know what it's like to try to sleep in a room that's too hot. It's impossible. But when it's too cold, it's not so bad. It's because when you go to sleep, your body lowers its body temperature, and that's a signal that it's okay to sleep. So if you can make your room as cold and as dark as possible, that's also going to improve the quality of your sleep. Okay, tip number 4, and this tip is to synchronize your circadian rhythm. Now, what does that mean? It means signaling to your body when it's daytime and when it's nighttime. See, this happened completely naturally when we were living outdoors. When the sun's up, it's bright. When the sun goes down, it's dark. But in our modern day lives, we look at blue light late at night. And when it's morning, sometimes we don't go outside and we don't get any sunlight. So our body's internal clock gets confused. It doesn't know when it's daytime, when it's nighttime, and that means it doesn't know when it's time to go to sleep. So the best thing that you can do to resynchronize your circadian rhythm is to get sunlight early in the day. When you wake up, look outside, go outside, get sunlight, and when it's dark, reduce the exposure you have to blue light. So I'm going to link in the description a few programs that you can use that's going to reduce the amount of blue light exposure you get on your computer and your phone late at night. And this is going to really help synchronize your body's internal sense of circadian rhythm and understanding when it's daytime and when it's nighttime. When its circadian rhythm is in sync, it knows when it's time to sleep, and therefore it's going to make it easier for you to fall asleep at the right time. So these are the 4 tips that I think are really important when it comes to getting good sleep. And if you can get these 4 things right, and it's not that hard to do, I promise it's really going to improve the quality of your sleep, the length of your sleep, and how easy it is to fall asleep every single night. So thanks for watching. I hope that helps you, and I'll see you in the next one.